Are you creative? So where does the creativity come from? Do you get born with it, or do you learn it? Actually, NASA made an experiment. George Land in 1992 developed a high experiment for NASA to measure creative potential of rocket scientists and engineers. It turned out to be very successful for NASA purposes. The scientists gave the same test to 1,600 children at the group of 4 to 5 years old. And what they found shocked them. They realized that 98% of the kids at this category were creative genius. They repeated the same test with the same group of children 5 years later, and they realized 30% of them were creative. They repeated the same test with the 15 years old, and 12% of them were still creative. And sadly, only 2% of adults are still creative. Today, when the economy is booming and there is a war for talent, we cannot afford to lose our creative potential anymore. So when I was at a high school, my favorite writer was Robert Fujun with his book, All I Really Need to Know, I Learned in the Kindergarten, and I play by the same rules until today. Share everything, play fair, don't hit people, put things back where you found them, clean up your own mess, don't take things that aren't yours, say sorry when you hurt somebody, and live a balanced life, learn, think, draw, paint, sing, dance, play and work a little bit every day. So what makes a kindergarten such a special place that our performance is so high? First of all, it's a friendly place, right? The neuroscientists showed us that if we work in a friendly environment and we are not judged, criticized, or censored, we perform much better than if we work under pressure or under stress. If we are creative, our brain just lights up. The global trend is that more and more people are moving to the big cities. So in next 30 years, the 2/3 of the global population will be living in big cities, which will increase the commuting time to go to work as well. Nowadays, it's up to 2 or 3 hours per day, which is a huge waste of time. And things will get only worse. With the new technologies, the studies show that using self-driving vehicles will cause big traffic jams. So who's gonna take the public transportation to go to work, right? When you can still sleep on the way to work. And so the biggest traffic jam lasted for 11 days. So you go to work and 11 days later you arrive. So you're gonna get a good sleep, I believe. I believe people will no longer go to the office every day. I think they will be going to the office maybe once or twice a week for some kind of a workshop. And most of the time they will be working from their home or from their cottage. Wouldn't that be fun to work from your cottage on everyday basis? Or there will be more and more digital nomads, because with the increasing rental costs in the big cities, people will have to travel to decrease the cost. Because for the same money you would spend in San Francisco in 3 months, it will get you going in Singapore for 6 months and in Bali for 2 years. I believe the big open space will no longer be popular anymore because people will not accept to work there anymore. Because we see that the interaction drops 73%, email communication increased 67%, instant messaging increased 75%, well-being drops 32%, productivity drops 20%, and also 42% of people prefer a quiet work environment. Also, the virtual reality will change the way we work completely, because we could be literally anywhere in the world and our avatars will have a meeting together. And the avatars will be showing real emotions like smiling or listening, skepticism, or confusion. Also, you could be navigating robots on the long distance, so you could be lying in your bed with your headset and you could be navigating a robot on the other side of the world. And also up to 80% of population in the Southeast Asia will be replaced by robots, so they will lose their jobs. So imagine what kind of impact it will have on the social security worldwide. And also, uh, let's go. I think there will be two trends worldwide. The first one will be local, so we will see a lot of small local co-working spaces for a narrow group of people like artists or architects or photographers, and there will be like in your neighborhood or in your village. And the other trends will be global. So we'll see the big players all around the world. So the Globetrotters will have the same office in New York City or in London. Also, the company Westfield is actually using their shopping malls to create a co-working place in San Francisco. And this very same company, they have actually the shopping mall Czerny Most, Zličín, Chodov, and many others around the world, in New York City, in Paris, in Sydney, and they will be actually making co-working places in their shopping malls. So this will be like a major trend in the next few years that we will be seeing. Also, big companies like Microsoft or IBM will be developing their co-working places because it will let them more easily interact with the startups and also have an interaction with them and spot the talents. It will be easier. And those co-working places will be offering amazing services like daycare, or common weekly lunches, or yoga classes, and so on and so on. So I think the companies will no longer be renting an office per month, but more likely per days, like 1 or maybe 2 days per week. And those will be visually beautiful spaces with beautiful views and in amazing locations. Also, the fast-speed train will change completely the way we work because it will take only 1 hour to go to Vienna if we have a train here. So you could still live in Prague and work in Vienna pretty easily. So here there are some of my projects. I didn't really want to talk to them much because this was designed in the past and we're speaking about the future. So I think the office of the future should be pretty much, it should give you the same feeling you had in the kindergarten. It should be a friendly place where you go to hang out with your friends, have a good lunch, to play some sports together, have a drink or two, and take a good nap after a good lunch. So we have to be curious again. Curiosity is from the Latin word cure, so to heal. So imagine you become curious again, and you will take the creativity to its full potential.